The only one responsible for your health is you. Now, I know that might come as a shock to some people because of some of the conditioning that we've had for the past several years, but maybe for your entire life, which is ask your doctor, consult your doctor, ask a professional. No one's going to know you better than you. And yes, you want to definitely rely on other people to get more information. But at the end of the day, the responsibility of your health relies in you. You have to take hold of the fact that you are with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And what you do repeatedly is going to create your health outcomes. A doctor, the way that we've set things up today is a doctor should only be used for emergency situations. What do I mean by that? They only spend 10, 15 minutes with people. And because of that, now some doctors spend a little bit more time, but because we've changed doctor as this person that was there to heal and to listen and to help, we've turned it into a money-making scheme that is basically designed to submit pharmaceutical drugs to you. Like, that's the reason why we have doctors now, is a reason for them to write prescriptions, whether that be for surgery or whether that be for pharmaceuticals. It's changed the way that doctors practice. There's nothing wrong with doctors. This is just what's happened over time. And you know, as well as I do, when you go to a doctor, that's what they're going to give you. It's very rare that they're going to sit down with you and say, okay, what did you do last week? All right, what have you been doing for the past several years? What are some of your habits? How are you doing with this? They're not going to spend that much time with you because they don't have the time, and we've changed the way that the interaction is. Are they a great resource for emergencies? Yes. If I was having some sort of emergency, I would want to go to the highest qualified physician that I could. But what I'm talking about is what leads me up to seeing a physician. Once I'm there, I'm probably in need of surgery or drugs. But if I'm not taking my own health seriously, if I'm not putting that responsibility on myself, and by the time I get to the doctor, those things that I need in the interim, they're going to be too big of a change, and the doctor's not going to be able to prescribe that. So what do I mean by that? Is, what are you doing with your diet? What are you doing with your exercise? What are you doing with your stress? What are you doing with your sleep? What are you doing with the other hours of your day? And that's going to create the health outcomes that you're eventually going to either need a doctor or not need a doctor. And that's what I'm talking about is if you want to take responsibility for your health, you can basically maximize your genetics in a way that I believe that most people, there are some, right, genetic factors where they get cancer when they're young, they get diabetes when they're young, there's certain things that happen along the way that pretty much they didn't have a choice. They could have done everything right, and they're still going to end up in a situation where they're going to need a doctor, or they're going to need some sort of life-saving medication or surgery. Barring those, which is a very rare case for the most part, you have the ability to take hold of your health and make better outcomes, make yourself healthier, maximize your genetics to be robust and feel good and feel strong and feel healthy. Now, that might mean that in that interim, right, like I said, before things go wrong, you are consulting people like a nutritionist. You're consulting people like a trainer. You're consulting people like a dietitian or a stress or a health coach or these other areas of your life. The reason why I would recommend those things is if you don't have the interest or the time to be able to take your health seriously. Now, really, we've overcomplicated things. And the fact that I even suggested that shows you how far away our society's become, because it shouldn't be that hard. I feel bad that people like myself are suggesting that you need a personal trainer or a nutritionist just to be healthy. It's not that hard. I don't think you and I need to have a conversation about what's healthier, a carrot or a cookie. I think everybody should know that, but the water's been so muddied by nutritionists by health coaches, by strength coaches, by all these people, that we've overcomplicated things. And so the average everyday person has no idea what to do. But it's really simple. Don't eat so much, eat real food, and try to move your body on a regular basis. And what I mean by regular basis is if I never do this, okay, if I never bend over, those things can tear a shoulder, literally, okay? Because our lives are spent in front of us. We're constantly like this, we're constantly like this, we're constantly like this, standing up, moving around. But we've gotten so far away from that what level do I need? I don't know. I don't know where you need to start out. So consulting a coach can help you get back to this more basic, easy style of living, combating what we have to. Same thing with nutrition. We've been told that these things, because they have a label on it that says organic and gluten-free and this and that's healthy. It probably, or not probably, who knows? I don't know. But that's the thing, is we've gone so convoluted in all these different areas that it's hard for the everyday person. For someone like me, that it's not only is it my job as a personal trainer to help people, it's also an interest of mine. That's how I got into training. I like studying nutrition. I watch podcast after podcast and read book after book and look at studies because I'm interested in the subject. Most people aren't. That's why they consult someone like me to help them. But at the end of the day, I cannot do what they need to do for themselves. I can't do it. I can lead them to the right direction, but they have to take responsibility. I can only open the door. They have to walk through it. That's what I'm trying to get across in this video is no matter how many people you have around you, you still have to take responsibility. If you have the time and the resources to be able to consult those different people, great. More power to you. That's going to mean your bar is going to be raised. You're going to be able to have a better health outcome because you have more resources to you, especially if they're people that are giving you good information, that aren't just trying to sell you a program or continue your business, okay? If they're really trying to help you, you're going to be in a really good situation. If you don't have the time, if you don't have the interest, then consulting out to other people is going to be necessary for you. But what I'm saying is it doesn't take that much time. Like I said, we all can sit here and you can tell me what's better for you, a brownie or a piece of broccoli. Everybody knows the difference. But putting it into practical use in your everyday life because of time constraints, maybe you've got a family, maybe you've got lots of responsibilities, you're caring for other people, you've got a job, you've got a ton of responsibilities there, you don't have as much time. That's when you consult out and you delegate these other things. Hey, help me out with this. Hey, make a meal plan for me. Hey, structure my training for me. That way you can go about your life and not have to think so much about what you want to do. So if you have that, the ability to, then you want to delegate out and have these people. But at the end of the day, they could give you all the greatest nuggets of information. If you don't use them, if you don't say, I'm going to follow through on this, then you're going to end up at, like I said, at that doctor going, I need help, doc, with a person that doesn't have the ability to do all of those things that we just talked about. And you've probably gone too far that it's going to take so much energy and effort just to get back to basics. So this responsibility aspect, you're responsible. Your doctor's not, your trainer's not, your nutritionist is not. Those things are all tools for you, but you have to take responsibility. And it's a lot easier than you might think. Just think about it for 2 seconds. What would you probably need to do if you're overweight? You probably would have to stop eating so much. It doesn't matter what you're eating, just eat less. Start there. Hey, I don't do any walking except for to and from the garage to get in my car and to and from my parking spot to my cubicle to work. That's it. I sit to relax. I watch movies and relax on the computer. All right. I sit to eat. That's about it for my activity. What would you probably need to do? You'd probably need to increase that activity. Do you need to just start doing CrossFit? Do you need to start running marathons? No. But increasing that, just like decreasing what, and that's most people's issue. Then if you can start taking it a step further, okay, I need to start eating more real food. Instead of just eating out, okay, and eating packaged goods, I'm gonna start eating real food. That's when you might go, okay, if I wanna take this responsibility and I wanna start doing these things, there's unlimited resources that you can find. You don't need a nutritionist. But like I said, if you don't have the time and you don't have the interest, but you still wanna eat healthy, that's when you go and consult someone. That's when you go and buy a program. That's when you go and use a meal prepping service. Okay, I'm starting to walk more. I'm starting to do more activity. Basic stuff. Like I said, I'm just starting to park further away. Instead of using the elevator, I'm using the stairs. Very simple things. Now what? Now you can start, maybe joining a gym. Maybe then you can start hiring a trainer. Maybe there's certain things that you can do, but it's a lot more simple than we as trainers, we as experts, right, like to make it out to believe that you have to be taking this much magnesium every single night. Oh, you're not getting your vitamin C in, or you're not getting your vitamin D. There's basic things that we need to do, but where are you and what are you willing to take responsibility for? If you're not willing to, some people are willing to do everything, and that's why they have really good health outcomes. Some people aren't. But you have to take responsibility for that. If I'm not willing to do the things that it's going to take for me to get these health outcomes, by the time I do go see a doctor for these issues, I cannot be so upset. I can't think that there's some other entity outside of me forcing me into doing these things. Now, you do have a lot of energy moving in that direction. We can get into that on another episode, right? Where you've got food companies, pharmaceuticals, you've got the education system, you've got lots of things that are out there forcing you into an avenue of looking at your health in a certain way that I think is unfortunate. And I would love to help change that. But where we're at today, you have a lot of information out there that might be confusing and you might not know where to go. But like I said, inherently inside of you, you know that eating packaged foods, processed foods, fast food is not as healthy as eating a salad. We know that, but yet if you continue to do those things, and then by the time you get to this, unhealthy state of mind or state of body where you've got some disease or you've got some issue going on, to then say, hey, I didn't know. I'm going to tell you right now that you did know. You know better. We all know better. Basics, the basics we know. Are you willing to take responsibility for that, or are you going to point fingers? Because by the time you're there, it might be too late. So if you're in any state right now, if you're watching this video, the only person that's going to be able to help you get to where you want to be is you. You have to take that responsibility. Then from there, you can have so many people. I've got clients that use me, a nutritionist, they use multiple doctors, endocrinologists, they use tons of people around them. And they tend to be the healthiest people because they are taking responsibility and then asking other people for help and then using that information in their own lives. They don't necessarily have the interest like I do, but they know that these people can help them get more information to get better health outcomes because they care about those outcomes. If you do, all right, then great. If you don't have the interest, then delegate. If you care about the health outcomes, but yet you're not doing anything about it, reevaluate what you mean by I care about those things. You might care about them when it hits the wall, when you have a disease, when you have an injury, when you have something happen to you that you then need help. But what was your behavior like? Were you taking responsibility, or were you just saying that you cared about these things? So again, you're the only one that's responsible. There's lots of help out there if you're willing to ask. But if you get that information and you don't do anything with it, then you're going to be stuck in the same position. So that's it for today. Take responsibility of your own health, or don't. Either way, you're going to end up with outcomes. Some outcomes you're going to like, some outcomes you're not going to like. You're going to be responsible for either one of those. That's it for today. I'll see you next time.